Hello and welcome to episode 139 of the UK Steelers podcast. And here we are, one day out from the NFL draft on Thursday night, Friday morning. You're joined as always by me, Sam Winstanley, and two of our co-hosts, Gavin Marshall and Ketz. How you doing, guys?
Not too bad. I didn't realise this was going to be a regular episode. Is that how it's going to roll?
You found out now.
Okay.
Here we are.
So,
but it's not a regular episode, really. No, it's not a regular. I mean, it's a numbered episode. I wouldn't say it's a regular episode.
Okay.
We are here to do our final full 2-round mock draft. We've split the teams. Myself, Gav, and Ketz have all got between 9 and 10 teams each, between 21 and 22 picks to make each. And we're all ready to go. We're ready and set to be the GMs for a large number of teams tonight.
Raring. I'm worried I've overcomplicated my setup here, and I've got too many things open, and I'm going to make some terrible mistake like picking two of the same position group for one team or something like that. Yeah. Something bad's going to happen. I'm going to be roundly mocked. That's my fear. So if we get through this, and I haven't,
they want the chaos.
They want the chaos. But if I get through this and don't make an idiot out of myself, I'll be pleased.
That's honestly all we can ask, and it's not something you succeed in every episode.
No, it's true.
Okay. How do you want to start this? Do you want to jump right in? Do you want to talk about what teams we have? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, I get. Why don't you explain how you did the selection process? There was some kind of wheel fortune involved?
Yeah, so the way it started was I had a little wheel, like one of those random name generator wheels, and I was just doing it to see who would get to pick for the Steelers. So I span it and recorded it, and it landed on me, which seemed like a setup. Then I did it again to decide who would do the Jags, and I was going to do that for all of them, right? But then it landed on me again, and I was like, hang on a sec. If I just keep doing this, it keeps landing on like the same people back to back. The mock draft is going to suck, right? It's not going to rotate between it. It's going to be weird. So I ended up trying to like just go in there and manually make it as varied as possible. It's not easy because all the different teams have traded so many picks and stuff that they're all over the place. But I think we've come out with the best solution, just about.
Okay. All right. Let's. Should we just get started? No dilly dally.
No dilly dally. So if you're listening, you can watch this along on YouTube. I've got the old PFF mock draft simulator up, but we're not simulating anything because we're picking for every team. So I'm going to hit enter draft and we're going to get started. Do we have a timer on the picks, Gav? Is that something you want to consider, or are we just going to let this roll?
Well, is Ketz in responsible for weights and measures, or should we just
That's a good point. Yeah, he is the chief of scorekeeping, so that does feel like it probably fall under that remit.
I'll probably just give someone a nudge if they're taking 3 hours to make a pick.
Yeah,
okay.
You'd be like the Oscars handle, that pulls them off the stage.
Or the red gloves for the NFL. We've talked about this before. The guy that brings the TV back from the adverts to the game. He's on the field and tells the ref, "Go, play."
This isn't ringing any bells with me, Gav. This red glove thing.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it before, and I've mentioned it before. You can spot them. They've got like weird, like elbow length gloves on the sideline. There you go. Something for deep train spotting out there. You find the red glove. They call him red gloves, I'm pretty sure.
I keep an eye out for this now. Okay.
Gentlemen, we're already delaying. Who's the Jags?
Oh, crap, It's me. So we should clarify, actually, before we get started. We're doing this as what we would do. We're the GMs of the teams, right? This isn't like a predictive mock draft or anything.
Yeah, this is just for fun.
Yeah. So with that in mind...
I have not been keeping track of the Bills' like pre-draft visits. Sorry.
No.
So... Bills fans come at me and whatever.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the picks we make for your team if you're watching. But yeah, this is a certain level of effort has been put in that is consistent with our usual output. Actually, no, that's unfair. I spent a lot of today making these like spreadsheets that you can't even see on the video to make it easy to track. So I would say more effort has gone in than usual. But
I spent a train journey with questionable 4G, 3G. I think I was down to like 1G at one point trying to work out. What are the Cowboys' needs in the 2022 draft?
Okay, let's get started. With the first overall pick, and it will be no surprise for you to hear, I'm sure, I will be selecting for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The pick they should make, but won't, Aiden Hutchinson, edge out of Michigan.
Makes sense. I just don't want to see. I don't want to see Rashad Walker. Rashad Walker? What am I talking about? Trevon Walker going first. That just doesn't feel right to me.
Doesn't feel right at all, does it? But it's where we are. Who's the Lions? Let's go. We're on to Ket.
It's me, yeah. So I am going to pick. Where is my list? List. not written them down in a logical order, which would make too much sense. I'm going to go with my poster boy of the secondary, safety, Kyle Hamilton.
Wow.
Ignoring the combine, he's just looking purely at tape. Kyle Hamilton.
Wow. First guy that I had to type in because he was so far hidden.
Wow. Okay.
What's the thinking in that one, Kets? I love that.
I just looked at their needs, and it's quite varied in terms of what they need: linebacker, edge, potentially QB, tight end depth, and sort of they just need playmakers on the defense, really. So that's why I've gone with Hamilton. Just I think he's got that sort of something special. He can play in and around the box. He can play deeper, and it will just give the kind of the opponent something to think about in the division.
Awesome. Kets, can you do me a favor just before we move on? Can you, the main page on the mock draft Google sheet we have, can you just update that with the names that go in just because I'm doing too many things at once and I'm losing track?
Yeah, I'll try to.
Is that possible? Have you got the capacity for that?
Are people going to be referring to it during this?
I probably will. You don't have to.
I'll try.
Concern.
I'll try. I didn't know. I just thought Gav could do it. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm updating too many sheets and I've already lost it after 2 picks, so it's not going to go well.
Go on.
Okay, on to the Houston Texans, which is Gavin Marshall.
Well, the Texans are a pretty easy team to draft for, I think, because they pretty much need everything, right? And I think with the name screaming out to me here is top tackle on the board, Evan Neal. Rumors about Tunsil going, right? And I just think he'll be like, you can always start a rebuild with a franchise left tackle. So give me Evan Neal.
Okay, Evan Neal. What's all this talk about his injury concerns that are apparently made up?
I don't know about that. I've seen that, and I don't know the validity of it. Do you?
No, seems like maybe something other teams are saying in the hope that he'll fall.
Right. They are literally sending out smoke signals.
Yeah, literally. Okay,
right, who's got the Jets?
Neal off the board. Jets. Okay, that's me. Oof. Okay, now this raises a really interesting situation here. You got Derek Stingley on the board. Big fan of Derek Stingley. You got all the tackles, of course. The Jets, a lot of needs. Cornerback, wide receiver, edge rusher. And they've really got the pick of the board here. I think it's a little bit too early for wide receiver here. I think you've got to go with either one of the corners or the tackle. I'm going to go Akeem Okwanu out of NC State. Some have thought that he could even be the first overall pick. He falls to 4 for the Jets here.
So what, you put in Mekhi Becton on the left and Okwanu on the right? Is that?
Where's Mekhi Becton? So my thought is, if Mekhi Becton's going to be starting for us, then we can start Okwanu in at guard, and if not, he can start out at tackle.
Okay. Loaded with tackle talent. All right. Who's up next?
Interesting. That was, in terms of 4 picks so far, 2 of the potential Giants picks that I was going to go with. They've been gazumped already. I will have to take the other sort of elite tackle off the board. I will take Charles Cross.
A tackle run.
Mississippi State.
Really early tackle run there. Didn't see that coming.
Wow.
Go from the trenches, boys.
See, this is where, right, we're on to the Panthers, right? Which is me.
Yep.
Now, the Panthers have got the most ridiculous draft ever in that they've got, they don't pick again until like pick 198 or something crazy, right? After this pick.
Yeah.
So really, I'm thinking about trading back here.
You got anyone in mind? You got some...
Well, I mean, I could trade back with myself, which would be one thing. The Saints could be a target. They've got 2 first-round picks. They've moved up. I can hear some beeping. They've moved up and could be poised to make another jump up, maybe up to 6th. So that's an option. Or if you've got any teams that you feel have got the capital, that's probably the only team I've got that have got the capital to move up.
I'm just taking a look. I've got to be honest. There's no one right now where I'm like, I've got to get up to this pick. I know you're angling for the Steelers to do it. I'm not going to do it. I've never been a fan of the Steelers selling the farm, although I am concerned that they are going to do it tomorrow.
You see, the obvious choice here would have been, not take a quarterback and go tackle, but the tackle run has kind of killed that. Now, Now, they did lose Gilmore. And they although I'm a big fan of Stingley, I'm thinking they could go, let's get a top sort of man corner here. So if no one wants to trade, I could trade with the Saints, but it feels a bit dirty trading with myself. So I'm going to take Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati, the absolute lockdown corner. I think it would play well for them in that spot vacated by Gilmore. So yeah, take Gardner.
Wow. Okay. Now panic has just ensued across Western New York, because Eastern New York, I should say. Western New York would be Buffalo. The one team that was considering trading up with you, Gav, might have been the Jets, because they wanted to fill that corner slot, but with two still on the board, they felt good about it, but one of them's just gone off.
On behalf of the Buffalo Bills fans, can I just remind people that none of the New York teams are in New York. They're actually in New Jersey. Let's score some points with some Bills fans somewhere.
That's like every Bills fan's favourite thing to say.
Well, it's either that or they're going to put you through a table. So, you take the lesser of two evils.
Anyway, Ketz is up, right? Giants.
I am. Can I have a look at Edge, please? Si?
Of course you can, my friend.
You've got Travon Walker, Thibodeau, Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
Ajabo, a bit high, maybe. George Karlaftis.
I will go Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon, please, for the Giants.
Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay.
That's got to fill that edge need, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Falcons. That's you, Si.
Trayvon Walker still on the board, dude.
That's probably realistic to us, right? We're not massively.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably it, right? We don't see him the way we're hearing that the Jags do, and
I think we're all of the mode of let someone else draft him. Unfortunately, if all three people do that, it's going to fall and it's going to be ridiculous.
Okay. This is an interesting one because the Falcons, even with some of these teams that you kind of see as being poor, like the Jets and I suppose the Jets are the only team, maybe the Colts, but really just the Jets are the only team I've got that are objectively poor. But the Falcons' entire roster is awful, dude. When you actually look at it.
Yeah, they're in another Jets position.
I mean, they're worse
Texans.
than the Jets.
Sorry, Texans.
Yeah, Texans,
They're the same. I mean, they've got Mariota. They've got I'd rather have Trubisky than Mariota, I think, at this point. So they really are worse off than the Steelers. Much worse off.
And I think what's worth pointing out here is that there's so much elite defensive talent that you thought might have been off the board still. I mean, you talk about Trayvon Walker, Derek Stingley, but then you got all your top wide receivers.
And quarterbacks.
And of course, quarterbacks. And
love typing and dead air.
Here we go.
If you're in this position
Clock's
and you're
ticking.
the Falcons, would you not be trying to trade back for more capital, potentially?
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
The Falcons have drafted Malik Willis.
Oh, no.
Now, let me tell you why this is going to happen. The Falcons probably shouldn't draft Malik Willis. They don't have any receivers to support him. They don't have a great offensive line. But the Falcons don't do things like we do. And who did the Falcons have in that building? Who's the best, or at least the most storied quarterback the Atlanta Falcons ever had?
Storied. Well, the best is Matt Ryan.
Well, that's why I changed it. Yeah, maybe not the best, but the most, the QB that brought a stamp to Falcons football, and maybe they want to go back in that direction. Get that nice agile running QB in the building. I can see the attraction.
Well, it's an exciting time for Falcons fans.
Might not be when he gets on the field, but.
Well, no, that makes sense because you could develop him behind Mariota. They're not massive. I mean, obviously, I think Willis has got more upside, but they're kind of Mariota can move. So
the last couple of days I've been thinking about it. I really do think it's possible that the Falcons could go Malik Willis. I see that as the more likely destination than the Panthers.
I guess they've got nothing to lose, have they, with the way that things have got sort of set up for them? If there's that many different needs, just get one player that can do some incredible things and then just build around him if he works.
I worry it's not a good position for a young quarterback to be in. That's the only thing. Can you succeed when you've got? I mean, who's he throwing the ball to?
Not even Russell Gage. Who have they got?
Zacharias Olamide, Demir Bird, and Auden Tate.
Yeah, surely you've got to fix that. You've got to fix
wide
that in this
receiver,
draft as well,
yeah.
right? I mean,
So
yeah.
If they just draft Malik Willis and then just the quickest 3 receivers they can get at any one point when the board's available, it either runs or launches it deep. So just get 3 quick guys.
Yeah.
Okay, who's up next?
NFL.
That's me with the Seahawks, and we're gonna stop the fall of Trevon Walker. I think the Seahawks I think they need an edge guy, and they're no stranger to drafting a guy with great measurables like Trevon Walker. So there you go. That's a pick.
Love it.
You just see him in that uniform, can't you?
Yeah, far later than he's going to go, I think, but a nice fit there. And the Jets breathe a sigh of relief, because although they do need to fill that wide receiver need, and that Jameson Williams is smelling good to those Jets fans over there, Derek Stingley has to be the pick here for me.
Yeah, they need to get a corner in this draft, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And now they've filled that edge need, they've filled that corner need. That's 2 super valuable positions in the top 10.
And that puts the Commanders up on the board. Okay, that's me. Still not comfortable with calling them Commanders, but let's...
Yeah, no one is.
No. All right. They desperate. I mean, they're behind McLaurin. They've got not much. I think their sort of main need is wide receiver, although could argue corner or... Well, they've got quite a lot of needs as well. Corner or interior line or linebacker. But I think the draw of Drake London here to be that big high point guy that can be contested catch and let McLaurin do his stuff on the other side. So yeah, Drake London for the Washington football team / Commanders.
Drake London. Wow. First wide receiver off the board. My number 1 wide receiver. I'm starting to think he could go 3, out of the receivers.
Really? What you think, Wilson and then...
I've been strongly
Williams.
thinking that Williams goes first for a while now. And then I think it's a bit of a toss-up depending on who's taking him.
I think it comes down to the team that's taking him and what kind of role they need. There's no complete guy here. There's no Jamar Chase, so it's like what kind of receiver do you want?
Yeah.
Right, who's got the Vikings?
That's me. So this is pretty much a dream scenario for them in terms of the way the board's fallen, because they want edge and they want cornerback. So actually having the ability to choose between Kalafdis, Trent McDuffie, can we just scroll down a little bit so I just see what else is on there?
Jermaine Johnson's there, if you want edge.
Yeah.
Boye Mafe. David Ajabo. Or what was the other position you said?
So cornerback and edge.
Oh, cornerback, yeah. McDuffie, Elam, Booth, Kyler Gordon.
I think in this position, based on sort of some of the mock drafts and some of the fan comments that I've seen, they would go with Trent McDuffie.
Okay, is that your pick? Right.
That's the pick out of Washington.
Yeah, it seems like Vike fans are big fans of Trent McDuffie. They took him in the mock draft, the fan mock draft. Oh my god!
The fan mock draft.
The fan mock draft that we did on Twitter earlier today.
The mock draft held in.
I don't know. That was just coming out of my mouth. So strange. Okay, Texans.
Texans are up. I think they'd be tempted by some of the receivers here, Wilson and Williams, but then they also need edge. You could take Jermaine Johnson here. That would be a decent pick. But what I'm actually going to do... Am I going to do that? Ooh, I was close to doing that. I was close to making my call there and saying George Karlaftis, because he feels like... Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I like Karlaftis.
Whoa.
I'm going to go for Karlaftis. He feels like he could be that run edge defending guy that they kind of like over there. They need an edge guy that's sort of powerful, in the mold of JJ Watt, in the mold of Clowney. They've had those guys before. So yeah, let's go for Karlaftis.
I think Karlaftis is a sneaky rookie defensive player of the year candidate because you know where he's positioned on the board right now, like falling into that late area of the first round. Landing on a good team that can make a run, and he has like an impact on that team. I think he's pretty pro ready.
Yeah, going with the Lions here up front. So Neal and Karlaftis, they're trying to change the leadership round in that dressing room. They're bringing in leaders, people that can lead the way. Both of those guys play with intensity. Okay, Ravens are up.
Okay, bit of a weird board for the Ravens. They are looking for some sort of offensive line support. They're looking at secondary support. They're looking at pass rush, which they have invested in heavily in recent years. But there's definitely space at edge. Jermaine Johnson's sitting on the board. He's fallen much further than I think most people think. You're attracted by names like Jameson Williams, I think, with the Ravens still, but I really do think they've got to stop drafting receivers so high if they're not going to use them.
Right, and you think that Jameson Williams perhaps quite similar to Hollywood Brown. Not in physique and stuff, or speed maybe, but definitely in usage. How you
doesn't it feel like they should take like Chris Allarvey, and then they would have the first round like Sonic team? It would be like Knuckles is Rashad Bateman. Sonic is Hollywood Brown and Allarvey is Tails, right?
Possibly. Or it could be, or Traylon Burks would be the other one to put in the backfield. He'd be very Ravensy. You've got a quarterback that can't throw and a wide receiver that's not a wide receiver. So you both basically got running backs out there and your quarterback and your wide receiver are running backs as well. Anyway, I'm not convincing you. Go on. What are you going to say?
I am going to go with... No. The Ravens panic. They see a lot of the people on the board, but they stick with their original pick and they go Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go that way. That makes sense for them.
Defensive tackle.
You hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it, but because who's that guy in the middle there? Brandon Williams. Is he left there? He was.
Calais Campbell's just come back.
Did they re-up Brandon Williams?
Sure. No.
So that's it. Direct 1-for-1 replacement then.
So on to the other half of Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia Eagles. Interesting, they have pick 15 and pick 18. So you've got to potentially consider what the Saints and the Chargers may do. Quite a few different needs that they have. So defensive backs, either cornerback or safety. Edge, wide receiver, defensive tackle, and linebacker. So I think they would potentially just take best player available. Looking at the needs of the Saints and the Chargers, they both need tackles and wide receiver. So with the first of the Eagles picks, I think I'm going to play it tactically and go with Jameson Williams because I think the other players that are available, the linebackers, Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean, and you've got cornerback as well, Andrew Booth potentially still there. But I think the value offered in the receiver market at the moment would be the best pick. So Jameson Williams, please, out of Alabama.
Okay, Saints up next. Can't believe their luck because they'd seen that two of their top receivers had fallen to them, and Garrett Wilson's on the board. So the Saints are running up the card to get Garrett Wilson. Actually, quite similar to Michael Robinson. Is that his name? Who am I thinking of? That's right, isn't it? Who's their receiver?
Who?
Michael Robinson.
The Saints. No.
What's he called? It's not called Michael Robinson. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about.
Now you've said it. You've thrown.
Yeah, I know. I've melted my brain.
Help us, cats. Mike Thomas.
Mike Thomas. Boring name. I got confused. Michael Robinson was like the defensive end for the Bengals. Anyway.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. So who are you taking?
I'm taking Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Yes. Very similar player to Michael Thomas. That's what I meant. So they're going to end up with two of the similar receivers, but you can't let a guy fall like this when you need the position. Yeah. So Garrett Wilson.
To be fair, with Michael Thomas's availability, he says slightly bitter as his first ever fantasy pick was Thomas, and then he sat out most of the season. At least Garrett Wilson should get on the field, which is a win.
That's true. They should have him.
Okay, the Chargers. The Chargers are in. If there's one thing they need, it's tackle. Obviously, there was a tackle run early in this draft, so they've not been lucky enough to have one of those obvious guys fall. You're now looking at some of the kind of late round 1, early round 2 kind of guys. Would also kind of like a guard or a wide receiver. Do you know what? I think they try to take the value here and they go interior offensive line instead.
You always got the tackle option, and then if it don't work as a tackle, shift them inside, and then you kind of get a guard pick.
Yeah. Well, I know, but the guards the tackles you absolutely love have gone. So we're going to go Zion Johnson out of Boston College. Can you hear that? Sounds like my living room, my bedroom. There's like an earthquake going on or something.
Yeah, is that like a shaking sound?
Yeah,
like a pneumatic drill somewhere.
What is that?
Is there a woodpecker loose in your lounge?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go check what that is, but please continue. Who's next on the...
It's Ketz with the second of the Eagles picks.
It is. So I think we would look at linebacker here. Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean. We spoke about these in depth the other day. Given the kind of quality at the position, I think it'd be hard to look past Nakobe Dean just with his all-round kind of game and what he offers. So I think that's potentially going to be the pick. Other options, Andrew Booth would probably be gone next time we pick at 51. He'll be gone. But I think Nakobe Dean is just that kind of game-changing linebacker from an off-the-ball position. He can blitz, he can pass break up, he can play in the run game as well. So yeah, I think we'll have to go with Nakobe Dean in this instance.
Sorry, was that the Eagles going Nakobe Dean?
It was. How's the woodpecker?
It's the washing machine. Chloe's decided to put the washing machine on in the middle of the podcast, which is making the entire room shake. But it does go off in 1 minute, apparently. So,
okay. It's got to that spin cycle.
Yeah.
Phase. All right.
Yeah. Surprised that's never happened before, though.
Well. Is she washing your clothes, or is it just her own?
I don't know. I'm sure some of mine are involved.
You got your that stage of the relationship where you're doing chores for each other. You're not.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Right. Anyway, back to the draft. So the Saints are up. Now, I think they would like a tackle here, really, but I'm not sure. I'm not a big Penning fan. It feels like you're walking away with a tricky tackle. But at the moment, they've got James Hurst and Ryan Ramczyk. Now, Ramczyk's a great player. James Hurst serviceable. So do you feel like you have to take Penning here? I mean, I think in all likelihood they probably do take a tackle here, but I think I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go Jermaine Johnson, the edge player, because yes, they've got good edge players. They've got Cameron Jordan and they've got Marcus Davenport, but I think having that third guy behind. In fact, they've got Tano Kopassignon behind, who's a good defensive end. But I think Jermaine Johnson here makes a lot of sense. I can just see them because Cameron Jordan's getting to the end of his days here, so he's taken a bit of a fall. Good athlete, good productive player. So yeah, let's go Jermaine Johnson.
Okay, like it. He has fallen way further than you'd think. It's taught that he's definitely going to be a first-round lock.
That said,
sorry, not first-round, top 10 lock. Okay.
No pressure.
Yeah, Steelers, and we're left in an interesting spot. Obviously, Andrew Booth is still there. Chris Allarvey kind of screams out to you if you want to go receiver in the first round. We don't really expect it, I don't think, anymore. But, especially early on, that was kind of the perceived best thing to do.
I'm not sure about first round ever with them, was it? But I was never.
What Steelers first round receiver?
I never felt like. I've always felt like it's going to be like a lineman.
Maybe us personally, but I mean, there's definitely been a lot of mocks, taking Steelers receivers, and
I think, but the mocks I've seen, the Steelers have been taking receivers later on. I mean, it seems to be quarterback heavy with, one or two receivers later, or, there's been linebackers I've seen. I've not seen that many mocks with wide receivers, but don't let me stop you.
Problem is, I mean, Devin Lloyd is there. We spoke about this when we did the Steelers mock draft the other day. Obviously, Tyler Linderbaum. Devontae Wyatt was the one we ended up taking. I got to be honest, dude. I'm not going to do Leo I got to be honest. I think I would be tempted here to take Chris Allarvey.
Okay, it's your pick.
That's what I'm going to do. I think
you're doing it.
I think if one of those 4 wide receivers falls all the way to 20, which I don't see happening, but if it happened, I'd be, strongly considering taking one of them with that pick.
It's the same as with the Saints, though. They drafted, Garrett Wilson, who's quite similar to Michael Thomas, not Michael Robinson. And now we're drafting Chris Allarvey. Well, you are drafting Chris Allarvey, who is quite similar to Deontay Johnson in a lot of ways.
Well, I love the idea of having Allarvey because I like the idea of playing him in the slot, Watson and Claypool on either side outside, having 2 kind of burning speed options, and then the big guy. And I think Allarvey is a very precise kind of route runner. I think he brings something, similar to Deontay Johnson, but a bit of a slightly different skill set in that I think he'd play better inside, and Johnson's a very precise route runner himself, so I don't want to put him down. But that's 2 things that they can do well. I mean, that's a solid front 3 to compete against what we're seeing with the Bengals. And
okay, so have you made that pick? I've not.
Yes.
I'm not watching the draft screen here. Okay, I'm looking at my sheets. All right, Patriots up next.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I kind of predicted sort of 2 or 3 players in this spot as potential options, one of which was Allarvey. I think the Patriots will be not to worry. I think the Patriots will be interested in the tackle Bernard Raymond. He's very good. He's developed very quickly. Obviously from when he moved over to the States. Additionally, I think they'd be interested in the linebacker position. So either Devin Lloyd or if Nakobe Dean was still on the board, we'd look at that.
Maybe Quay Walker.
I'm not going to indulge you with that, my friend.
That's a Patriots pick, by the way.
Yeah, it is indeed. And Devontae Wyatt's still on the board as well. Difficult pick. Just indulge me with the question. Who have the Patriots got at centre?
Good question. Don't know.
Scramble for the depth chart.
I'm doing it.
All right. See, I've got my depth. I've got my roster.
I've got mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got mine. Although, so shoot me for not clicking over because it's being so arrogant that I would get the Saints one right. I didn't actually. Look at it,
David Andrews. I'm not familiar with.
David Andrews.
He's on the boring names team. Mark Andrews at tight end.
Potentially questionable as well in terms of whether he will play or not. So I'm going to do the thing that would be probably Belichick's happy time. Tyler Linderbaum.
Belichick's happy time. Is that similar to Robert Kraft's happy time?
Is that what he was doing when the dog was drafting and he was off somewhere? It was Belichick's happy time.
Yeah. Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. Put him in
Lindy.
Put him in that New England front 5, give him a Canton jacket, and move on. Happy days.
Nice pick. Packers up on the.
I was just going to say, New England fans, don't come at us if David Andrews is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, we just never heard the dude. Okay, this is the easiest pick of the entire draft for me. Christian Watson goes to the Green Bay Packers and instantly becomes a Hall of Famer. Draft.
Now, Gav.
Yes.
I was talking to my good friend Rich, not the Rich we know, a different Rich, who is a Green Bay fan. And last year, he literally said to me, because I was adamant last year that they would take wide receiver. I think I had Bateman going to them. And he was like, no, the Green Bay will not select a wide receiver in the first round. they'll take some corner I've never heard of. And then they took Eric Stokes, who he had never heard of. And this year he's saying the same thing. He said,
Really?
I don't care if it's 2 picks. He says they will not take a wide receiver in the first round.
They've got to keep
He's
Aaron.
adamant that they won't.
Okay.
So we'll see.
This is what they should have done. This is what they should do. Christian Watson could be a generational talent.
I like it.
And,
yeah. That is one of the kind of team to player matches that I like the most.
As GMs, have we all spoken to various friends that support various different franchises to try and get some advice?
Only that one.
I messaged my friend who's an Eagles fan, but unfortunately he's in Thailand, so the kind of time difference didn't work. But
so is he on the Bill Belichick happy?
He's getting a bit. He's gone in for a Belichick special at a massage parlour out there.
Okay, who's next? Cardinals, that's me.
I can't tell him to listen to the podcast. Give him a shout out, but no, you've just ruined that.
Please give you a shout out, Gets. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's just my friend Matt. That's all. He's gone to live out there.
Oh wow!
Well, I can see why.
I think we should do a UK Steelers no context visit to Thailand. Let's go there. Yeah. If we've reached the shout out section of the podcast, I've got to shout out Laura Casey for doing the graphics for our 7-round Steelers mock draft we did the other night. So shout out to Laura.
Very much so.
Probably should on what I imagine was short notice once again.
Yeah, we probably should have saved it before shouldn't have saved it until the 23rd pick of this mock draft. But anyway, Cardinals are up. Let's go.
Okay, the Arizona Cardinals. Another team that has like some kind of strange needs. They really, really need edge help. They just have no one rushing the passer at all. But there also isn't a lot there. It's a bit of a weird in-between spot where you'd kind of probably be overdrafting someone or taking a punt on David Ajabo, but I think they need someone who can see the field straight away.
I think Ajabo's the long-term value there, isn't it?
Yeah, but not. I don't think that. I mean, the Cards are literally starting no one. Like outside of JJ Watt at defensive end, they need some outside linebackers.
I'll
tell you what they're going to go.
Tabulation going.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm going to go Andrew Booth.
Oh,
nice pick.
The Bills draft room just blew up. Tables being turned over, like old desk-style phones being thrown at desk fans.
I think when you look at the board with positions, because I've got this spreadsheet open with all the positions of the top players listed on it, the drop-off from this corner to the next one, I think, is huge. One of the biggest.
Not big Kyer Elam fans around here, are we?
No, I'm not.
Oh dear. Okay, who's got the Cowboys in? Andrew Booth, that physical outside corner that we all love. I think he's my locked-in guy that I want the Steelers to take at this point. But I don't think.
I just don't trust the Steelers to take a cornerback, dude. I feel like if we take him, he'll end up being a total.
I think we can break that curse. I think he's the guy, man. He's the physical guy in the AFC North. He would bring an intensity to the D, but it's not going to happen because I want it to happen. The Steelers never draft who I want them to draft. So.
Can
end up on the Bengals.
Can intensity to the D be the name of the massage parlour we open when we visit town?
Let's get into a Manscaped ad read. Bring intensity to your D with Manscaped 2.0 lawnmower.
Okay, guess. Is it you? Are you the Cowboys?
I am.
Cool.
I am the Cowboys. So their needs are guard, receiver, edge rusher. I think this is quite an easy pick. This is Kenyon Green, Texas A&M. Draft him, slot him in. Happy days.
That's a nice pick. Yeah. Okay. Quality pick there. Right. So, do the Bills reach for a corner? That's the question. And I don't know. They could also do with a wide receiver. But there's Burks and there's Dotson. I don't feel like they're the guys. There's been a lot of talk about Breece Hall going to. It's a pretty good roster, basically, the Bills have got. They haven't got many needs, really. I think cornerback is probably the main one because they've got Tre'Davious White, but according to my thing here, Dane Jackson is their other corner because obviously they lost they lost Levi Wallace to the Steelers, right? So,
Yeah.
and they've had a pretty good secondary over the last little while. They got Hoyer there and Michael Hyde being good players. It feels like they need a corner. So let's have a look. Let me have another look because Khair Elam, he's good against the pass. And maybe this is the time where you could take him and you just put him in a position where you don't make him play against the run because it's a run where he struggles. But I think they're going to go deeper than that. They're going to reach. No, they can't reach. I can't reach for him. I feel bad. So let's cut back to. We're going to take Jahan Dotson. We're not going to reach.
Whoa.
We're going to go with the next player on our board. So it's Jahan Dotson. There you go.
Nice, good pick.
Wow. Didn't see you doing that, Gav.
No, I wavered last minute.
The Chiefs are a little bit perturbed at that.
I bet they are.
Hmm.
But it's the Titans up next. Who's drafting for the Titans?
Tennessee Titans is me. Kind of wanted a receiver, the Titans. Kind of need maybe QBs in play. That's been the talk of the town of late. Okay. I think the Titans are in desperate need of a linebacker. Devin Lloyd is still sitting there way too low. It's actually a pretty easy pick for them.
Devin Lloyd.
Should never get to 26, really.
No, he has taken a bit of a tumble.
It happens.
It can do.
Although Nakobe Dean going so much, before him. Don't know about that.
That's true. Well, it depends what you want. Agent Dean gives you the football smarts. Agent Lloyd gives you everything but pass rush. So he can cover. He can, he plays. He's got the smarts as well. But Dean gives you. It's whether you want the pass rush or not, right? Dean gives you that pass rush. So I don't know. I prefer Dean. You prefer Lloyd. Well, you prefer Chanel, to be honest. But okay, who's picking for the Bucks?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's me. Clearly in win now mode. They've got to do everything they can to win the Super Bowl this year. It's Lombardi or bust. Two potential options here with the retirement of Ali Marpet, offensive guard. Do you give the Buccaneers a tight end 2 for red zone situations, potentially? Do we see one of the reaches of all time with Charlie Cola to the Buccaneers in the first round? I'd love that. That's not going to happen. I'm going to go with, I think, Tyler Smith out of Tulsa, who's down as a tackle, but I think he would be a good fit at guard. Can we just have a quick look at guard options side, just in case I'm missing anything? But I think that would be the pick.
You've got Sean Ryan.
He's listed as a tackle, Sean Ryan, but yeah.
I do like Sean Ryan as well.
You've got Sergeant Cole Strange, a bit early for him though. Darian Kennard. He is Kennard.
Trevor Penny's still sitting around.
Trevor Penny's still on the board. That is true. That's quite a tumble for the big man with the slow feet and Roman.
It is, but we all know my thoughts on his tape. Let's go with Tyler Smith out of Tulsa, please. Will be the pick.
Lovely. I do like that pick.
It's a good sort of run blocking option. I think he'll do a job for the Buccaneers in this sort of one last season of Brady, unless he decides he's going to carry on with whatever fruits he's eating or whatever.
Whatever fruits he's eating. Okay, Packers up.
Interesting. Now, the smart money here would be to take a tackle or an edge, pass possibly. But there's no one that's really doing it for me. I could take a linebacker. I could take another receiver. But I've got a feeling that you look at the linebacker core here in Green Bay, they've got Devondre Campbell, and then they've got next to him Chris Barnes. Now, There's a guy here on the board in Quay Walker that could be the next Clay Matthews. So we're going to go with Quay Walker. We're going to go with that pass rush. We're going to go with that lancing through and blowing up in the backfield. The exciting tape. Blitzing linebacker, Quay Walker. That's the pick.
Quay Walker. Okay. So he does go in the first round.
He does here in this draft. Should have gone. I feel like if it was me, I'd have gone Leo Chenal, but I just feel like they might like that guy.
Yeah. I appreciate you agreeing with me about Quay Walker going in the first round. Okay.
Chiefs up next.
Chiefs. Double pick. Love to see it. Now, it's a shame because the Chiefs don't really need offensive tackle. They've got Orlando Brown, they got from the Ravens, and blah, blah, blah. Lucas Niang on right tackle. I think they're pretty happy with him. They improved the offensive line real quick, actually, after the Super Bowl disaster. They do need a receiver, though. Oof. George Pickens. How's about that to replace Tyreek Hill?
Not exactly like for like.
No, I know. But, not, what they got, Juju, McCall Hardman, and Valdez-Scantling to fill that deep role. Or you could go the other way and Traylon Burks. Get the kind of nasty, hard-bodied...
Two-life crew. Nasty as they want to be. Could be. Don't let me influence you.
What else do they need, though? Cornerback is the other thing. What we got at corner? You don't love it. The Chiefs are going to go back-to-back with Sky Moore.
Ooh.
Wide receiver at Western Michigan. And Daxton Hill.
Ooh, nice pick.
Cornerback, safety, whatever you want to call him.
Nickel.
Yep.
Nickel baller.
Okay. I think they've just improved their, cornerback and receiver positions back to back, and then they can kind of do best player available from here on out.
Some nice picks. Okay. Bengals up. Now, in pretty good shape. I mean, you could always draft another O-lineman, so Trevor Penning's in play here. But I'm not a massive Trevor Penning fan. So I think they're looking to go corner. So I will go with my next corner on the board, which is Mr. Roger McCreary out of Auburn. Goes almost in the second round. Penultimate pick. First round player. Okay.
Gosh, where is he? Type Roger.
This could be a bit of a reach, but I think they need corner. And after we know that after McCreary, and Elam and Gordon, it's a bit of a drop off. And I think McCreary's a good guy. They could, possibly even play him in the slot at start and then shift him outside, play him as that number 3 corner, and then develop him behind Eli Apple, and then jettison Eli Apple. Like that person jettison. No, let's not talk about that. Right, who's up next? The Lions.
It's me. So needs we've got here. Obviously, we took safety earlier with Kyle Hamilton. Linebacker, edge, quarterback, tight end, potentially. So let's have a look at linebacker. Let's see what we've got left on the board. Because we've had a few come off, but I think there's still some value here at the end of the first round. Couple of names in particular there that jump out to me. Yeah, let's do it. Leo Chenal.
Oh no,
Wisconsin.
Jesus,
if nothing else.
The Jags are livid. Wow. Do you now? I'm looking at. I suppose there are other players maybe that we're a bit lower on that probably will go in the first round. Because I'm trying to think: is Leo Chenal going to make it to the Steelers in the second round? That's my current concern.
I think he could.
I think he could too,
There's
but then
plenty of teams that draft I mean, this is the thing. We should have said this at the top. We like tape, right? We watch tape. We like the tape guys. We like production. There's plenty of teams out there that will like the Christian Harrises and Brian Asamoahs of the world, the testing phenoms, the Troy Andersons. Well, you like him, but the testing nutcases that just jump out the building and they don't want any production. Whereas for me, it's more about the tape. So I think our draft is always going to be skewed by our tape watching process.
Yeah.
Hence Roger McCreary in the first round. Slightly smaller, short arm guy that's is going to be off a lot of teams' boards for that. But the tape is great, so that's why he went to the Bengals at 31. So anyway, back to the Jags, first pick of the second round.
The Jags just absolutely, they could go so many ways with this. Who we grabbed, at the start, Aiden Hutchinson. So we filled our edge need, but wide receiver, I mean, I know they've paid so much money to Christian Kirk, but do we really want to be lining up Zay Jones and Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones?
Apparently they're desperate to. I mean, why else would you pay a guy that no one else was going to pay half that money to?
Could also go tackle. They've just signed Cameron Robinson, right, to a long-term deal, but I just don't know what all that means. Does that really mean that they're just totally out on drafting a tackle here?
It must be like, if you're a Jags fan, you must feel about your front office like we do about the Steelers drafting corners. But it's just like any player they take.
Anyone they take is going to be bad. Okay. I'm going to say that the linebacker... sorry, giving it away there. The Jags are going to take a linebacker. Don't you just think you could see Chad Muma?
Yep.
In the Jags jersey?
You see, I think they'd actually take Christian Harris here.
You think?
But I think he's a better player. I prefer Muma as the player.
Yeah, maybe that's my... But I don't know, something about... I don't know, maybe it's just that Joe Schobert style kind of...
But they can see them... They just fall into the trap of drafting measurables and speed all the time and potential upside rather than production. So they'd probably go Harris. But you're going to go Muma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lions back on the clock, and having saved some salary, some cap space with the first round sort of salary level, the Lions with pick 34 will pick quarterback from Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, they have probably fallen too far, the quarterbacks.
Well, this is us,
Yeah.
It's value. That's what it is.
I like it there. 34. Can't argue with that at all. Okay. The Jets. Ooh. So what did we take earlier on the Jets? Akeem Ekwonu, and we got...
Corner. Two corners.
Stingley,
yep.
Still looking for a receiver. Still looking for some edge threat. Still looking at linebacker, maybe even. Oh. I like that. I'm going to go Treylon Burks to the Jets at 35.
They won't know how to use him. Burks, if there was one player in the draft you need to draft with a plan, it's Burks. Because he's just...
They've been using Braxton Berrios nicely.
That's true, but not in the same way that they're going to have to. You're going to have to give Burks touches in the backfield, wildcat snaps. Well, sure. we assume that.
But they don't have that guy though. If you look at they've got a lot of kind of meh, route running kind of generic looking wide receivers. They're not going with that power element to the game. Corey Davis is maybe the closest thing to that, but Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, Denzel Mims.
Okay, the New York Giants, the G-Men up next.
The G-Men.
So we've gone tackle, we've gone edge. Interesting. So the needs were offensive line, edge, and linebacker. I don't think there's much value really with much here in terms of linebacker. I think this is we've already gone edge, but I think in terms of long-term progression of the franchise, I'm going to go with David Ojabo from Michigan.
Nice.
To the Giants. It's a double dip, but I think the upside is there. He was my red star. I think he's genuinely a really good talent. He's a top 10 talent, and if you get that at 36, yeah, there's the injury, but assuming he comes back from that, the value is there at 36.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, Texans are on the board, and as I said, they need everything, and I think this is the time. Fantasy community go wild. Breece Hall, running back, Iowa State, going to be a Texan. I think he's the next coming of people are comparing him to Matt Forte. We all red starred him. Great running back. This is the time to start taking the top running back guys, and who have they got on the roster? Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead and Dale Ogunbowale, and Royce Freeman. So they need a real difference maker. Marlon Mack's nice, kind of breakaway guy, but I think with an every down franchise running back that's going to be there pounding the rock for the next 4 years, that'll serve the Texans well. With pretty decent but not hugely amazing quarterback play, surprisingly acceptable season from Davis Mills. Yet to see what he's going to do, but I think he could be helped by having a really good running back. So yeah, Breece Hall's the pick.
Love it.
Yeah, good pick. Definitely a bell cow. What's the Texans' offensive line like? I'm just wondering, if it's similar to
probably awful.
Najee Harris last year.
Well, they've just upgraded it with Evan Neal, and they've got Laramie Tunsil on the other side, although his future is uncertain. And then they've got Titus Howard, AJ Cann, Justin Britt, and Justin McCray in the middle there. So yeah, some work needed, but it felt like the value was there for Breece Hall with his pick.
Yeah, no, I like that pick.
The Jets are going to go get some edge talent. They passed on it with the first 2 picks. They're going to come round at the start of the second and take Boye Mafe.
Nice. Feels like a Jets player.
Yeah, a little bit more than I was considering. Like Nick Bonito, it doesn't really feel that fits the same.
Yeah, I feel like Boye Mafe is destined to end up on the Ravens with Adafe Owe, but probably it's a slim chance. But that just feels like those two should be together.
It does, yeah.
In my brain. Right, Bears up. Who's got the Bears? I guess it's Kets.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
You've done this quite well, Si. This is rolled fairly well so far.
That's good to hear. It's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I have a newfound respect for GMs.
Yeah.
Although I suppose they only have one team to deal with. I have 9.
Yeah, draft organisers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like having 9 teams to draft for. It makes you really think about different needs. It's a good process. I'm looking at the value here. Needs are off-ball linebacker, corner, offensive line, anything really. They've obviously got Tevin Jenkins, but I think the clear option here is Bernard Raymond from Central Michigan. That will really improve the offensive line.
So Raymond above Penning.
Yeah.
Okay.
This GM is not a fan of Penning.
I agree with you. I think I'm on board. I agree with you there. Okay. Seahawks are up. Now, it's going to be very hard not to pick a quarterback here. I'm going to be honest. Because Ridder and Sam Howell. Now, if it was me, I'd go Sam Howell. But I think the options here basically are Trevor Penning or Desmond Ridder. I think Ridder fits, he's not like Russell Wilson, but he can do some of the things that Russell Wilson did. So yeah, I'm going to go Ridder here. As much as I prefer Howell for myself, I think I can see them going Ridder. So I'm going to go Ridder. And they come back with another pick. So who are we going to go? Right. Let's do it. We'll go Trevor Penning. They need that tackle. They need that tackle, and he's fallen too far. This is the point where I think he's good value. So yeah, Penning for the Seahawks.
Colts fans are just livid. Oh, they'd already written Trey on the draft card. They were halfway up the stairs.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's see.
All is fair in love and war rooms.
Yeah, I know. They do still need wide receiver help behind Michael Pittman.
They need a bit of edge help, don't they?
Yeah.
I feel like they're pass rushers.
They've got Yannick Ngakoue, Quitty Pay they drafted last year.
Yeah, Pay's not really. Pay's great against them. Maybe they don't need edge. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
They could probably do with some outside linebacker help though.
What about wide receiver as well?
Yeah, I think this is maybe a good spot for George Pickens. Obviously, I'm hearing some character concerns that kind of puts you off, but I think he's the last really high ceiling receiver on the board, and I think that's the way I'll go.
Okay. Going Pickens, yeah?
Yep.
Nice.
I don't think there's any sort of top end wide receivers after that.
So is it back to you with the Falcons?
Oh, geez. Back-to-back picks. Okay. Falcons took a quarterback in the first round, but they are also desperate for a wide receiver, so they're not pleased at myself for taking a receiver off the board, because it is looking kind of grey out there until you see one man. Alec Pierce.
Danny Gray thought
his
number was being called Dan, and he wasn't.
Alec Pierce. Danny Gray's like, yes. Alec Pierce, the big bad man, goes to the Falcons, and all of a sudden we're playing hoops out here with Kyle Pitts and Alec Pierce.
It's a nice pick.
Malik Willis is feeling snug all of a sudden.
All right, who's got the Browns?
The Browns is the Browns, but unfortunately today the Browns is me.
I was gonna hope there was gonna be. I haven't got the Browns. Oh, sorry, you forgot to give out the Browns. Oh well, they just miss all their picks.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
Hey, sorry,
an 8-9 record. Just as a reminder, potential paper Super Bowl contender. In reality, obviously, other than size picked last year that they were going to win the AFC North, nowhere near it.
Hang on. Kat's doing the alpha dog and also shouting out the oh no, I lost it. There it is.
It's nowhere. I'm near it.
But Kat's doing the alpha dog there, just powering through, even though the host tried to cut back in.
That was powerful. That was powerful. Katz is that kind of guy, though. Katz isn't one to back down. I appreciate that.
I get a sense Katz has been a lot of team meetings at work and just talks over people.
Yeah.
Just keeps talking. The other guy's trying to interject. He just keeps going with his point.
Do you think Katz ends like his work emails or starts them with like, as in my previous email, something like that?
Yeah. It's a proper power move.
Mm.
I love the speculation that you guys have got into my life and how I do things. Sorry, Si, go on. What were you going to say?
I've forgotten now.
Again, another power move. Intimidating someone by putting them on the spot when the moment's gone.
Yeah.
This is textbook. You should start a YouTube channel of how to dominate meetings.
That's all good. It's all good fun. So, Cleveland, what do they need? Wide receiver, potentially. Landry's not the most reliable. Tight end, 2, perhaps. But I think their biggest need is either defensive tackle or defensive end. I don't believe Clowney has re-signed with them, unless I've missed it. And looking at the value here, and I'm going to hate myself for it, but it's going to have to be Devontae Wyatt.
He's fallen. I was just thinking he's fallen. Yeah,
Georgia.
It's a good pick. Has he fallen because of the domestic battery news that's come out between this show and our Steelers 7-round mock? Well, it's not come out, but we've heard about it in between. Some people firing shots at us for picking Wyatt in the first round for the Steelers, but
in fairness, Cleveland's record on this particular subject. ... I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, they walk towards trouble. I stand by the pick. I still think the tape's great. We draft off the tape, as mentioned before, and Wyatt's tape's solid. His tape's actually, in some ways, better than Jordan Davis. So, to see him fall into the second round, bit of a surprise. But anyway, who's got the Ravens? Who's up next?
Me. I'm just perusing. I think
Who's away, my friend?
Ravens are a weird team. They don't have too much they desperately need.
A tight end that can catch 2-point conversions is a need.
Who did I go in the first round? Lost it now. John Davis, cool. Feels like a lot to go twice on the D line. I think cornerback is an option here. I don't know who it would necessarily be.
Thinking time.
It is. Yeah, sorry. This is not exciting content, as I.
It is. The
slowly
viewers and the listeners are screaming at YouTube and their podcast feeds right now.
People literally turning off right
You
now.
think they're ready to move on from Patrick Queen yet?
Little soon.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go corner. I don't know that I love the fit, but he's fallen quite far. Kyrie Elam. We'll send him off to the Ravens.
Kyrie Elam. Okay.
I know. I don't know. Didn't know who I loved here.
Right. Okay. Vikings up next.
Vikings. So we had Trent McDuffie in the first round from memory. Cornerbacks is an option. Edge, centre, offensive guard. Can we have a look at interior line, please, Si?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if we just go back to the sort of the top of the main board, I think I know which way I'm going to go here. So according to my research, they also have a need at safety. So pick 46. I think looking at the value, it's screaming out to me which direction to go. Lewis Seen out of Georgia.
Nice.
Box safety, tackler in and around the box. So yeah, be a good pick.
Okay. Washington football team, aka Commanders, up next. Now, I think they need a corner. I think they need interior O-line, and I think they need a safety. Now, they could go Kyler Gordon here. Let's have a look at interior O-line board. And Sean Ryan.
Love it.
That's an interesting pick there because they need tackle as well. So who are their tackles? Who's their interior O-line? They've got Leno at left tackle, Andrew Norwell left guard, Wes Schweitzer at right guard, and Mike's guy, Sam Cosmi at right tackle. So it seems like they need a guard here. Because Wes Schweitzer is not a guy. They've got Shaq Calhoun behind him. They've got some depth. But yeah, Sean Ryan's the guy here because you could try him out at tackle. You can develop him at tackle behind Leno, who is a free agent signing, getting on in years from the Bears. You can try him out there, and then if he doesn't work, then you push him into guard. So yeah, Sean Ryan's the pick.
Great pick, no risk, and he was I think it was my sleeper for that reason. He was your sleeper at Red Star one, so I think he was sleeper.
I think he was your sleeper, yeah.
Yeah, love that guy.
And the Bears up next.
Bears. Let me just remind myself what I picked previously. I'm losing track now. It's that stage of the day. So we had. Where are we? Didn't have a first round pick. That makes sense. We had tackles.
Yeah, first pick for the Bears.
No, we had Raymond, but he was at the top
really?
of the second. Okay. Yeah. So we picked a tackle. I'm tempted to have a look at corner here.
Corner?
Let's see what we've got left. It's when you look at some of these names after a while, it's hard to remember who did what and for what reasons. I I think let's go with Jalen Petra out of Baylor.
I like that.
Who did what and for what reason?
Yeah, like who you were in on, who you were out on, what kind of, what corner was which, what sort of body type they had, and what sort of play style they had as well.
Okay, tackle up next. Sorry, tackle up next.
You done it. Yeah, I did
give
that.
myself away. The New Orleans Saints who badly need a tackle. Tackle up next. So we could be looking at Daniel Falele here. We could be looking at Abraham Lucas. That would be sensible picks because the drop off after those guys. The other option is quarterback. Now they've got Jameis Winston. So how strongly do you feel? But I think the tackle here is a real need. Who are their starting left tackles? I've already been through this. James Hurst, and they passed on tackle in the first round. I think they've got to go tackle here. So it becomes a question of who do you want. Now, the obvious picks, the three guys that are kind of in the right range are Daniel Falele, who is the monster dude that's maybe going to get exposed in his first couple of years. Then there's Nicholas Petit-Frere, who I was just like way out on, or Abraham Lucas, who again he's got nice strength, but could be a little bit slow-footed. So I'm going to go Falele, just the absolute monster, and they're going to try and develop him. So yeah, Daniel Falele for the Saints.
Nice pick.
Yeah, I'm higher on him than PFF is. I expected not to like his tape, but I did.
Yeah, I did. I really did.
The Chiefs are absolutely ecstatic. Didn't think that you would fall all the way to them in the second round and just run the card up for Nick Bonito.
Great pick.
That's a nice pick, yeah.
Some real value in this second round.
Yeah, definitely. Because even if these aren't the guys that fall, other guys that we pick will. So it's, there is definitely going to be value when you get to this 50 to 60 range.
Okay, Eagles up next.
Let's see the Eagles, yeah. So we had linebacker. We looked at. Let me just have a look at what the previous picks were. So wide receiver was the first pick, and linebacker was the second.
A lot of cogs turning here in Ket's Towers.
Lots of frantic scrolling through.
Frantic scrolling. That's what this should be called, this episode, Gav. Frantic scrolling.
The frantic scrolling, yeah. I think I've come up with a good system here, which I'm not going to reveal to you after the draft, until the draft is over.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a competitive element.
I know, yeah. That is such a Gav thing.
It is, isn't it?
I don't know what to tell you. I thought about this. I made a couple of spreadsheets, weighed up my options, and went, I know how to do this.
I've also got spreadsheets, but I think maybe the spreadsheets are weighing me down more than
I moved away from spreadsheets and went to a different system.
I got to be honest, I expected my spreadsheet system to really do me great favours in this draft, and I'm not sure that it has.
I know how difficult spreadsheet management is
when
recording a podcast.
Yeah.
It's really tricky. As proved every week when I miss one of your guys' sleeper picks. Is that enough stalling, Kets, or do you need more scrolling time?
I was just wondering. You just sounded happy talking about spreadsheets. So just like,
no. Please use your alpha skills. Cut in whenever you're ready.
No worries. Let's have a look at defensive tackle, please. If we can see what's on the board.
I apologise for the mouse clicks, but my finger's hurting too much to use the trackpad anymore. Offensive tackle, you think?
Defensive tackle.
Oh, sorry.
You got Perion Winfrey, although he could be an edge. Travis Jones, DeMarvin Leal, Zach Carter, John Ridgway, Fidarian Mathis.
Yeah, some good options there, isn't there? Some good value.
Why don't you like Why do you think the interior defensive line's a need for the Eagles? They got one of my guys there. What's his name? Milton Williams, like him. I think he played.
Just looking. So you had edge linebacker, defensive backs, both cornerbacks, safeties, and wide receiver, which we've addressed, and then defensive tackle. So it'd be defensive end, wouldn't it? Not defensive interior. Apologies, I'm worn out from this week of work and traveling.
It's all right. There's a cornerback, don't they? That's what their glaring need is, I'd have thought.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at corner then. Let's see what.
Because you took Jameson Williams and Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Which is strong picks. Feels like
Kyler Gordon's decent value there.
Or an edge guy, like you say.
Yeah, Kyler Gordon or an edge guy. I think it's definitely.
Don't let me influence you though. Jeez.
No, just looking. Oh, Ebiketti's still there. That would be good. Pascal would help with the run game. Enigbare.
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 Let's go with Arnold Ebiketti from Penn State.
I like that. That's a good pick.
Okay.
And it's perfect because the Steelers now line up and they are like absolutely swimming in options. Do you like Sam Howell? Boom.
I do.
He's available.
I do.
In the second round. Travis Jones. I think he's a first round defensive line talent.
I do. He's taking a bit of a tumble here.
Jaquan Brisker. Take over the guy that I've been championing taking over from Edmonds, and he's here in the second round.
Love that as an option. And we've still got the other QBs on the board as well. Mr. Corral is still there.
Corral there, your boy. Troy Anderson, the linebacker. There is just... you almost wish you had 2 picks or 3. This is tough.
You got 1 pick, my friend? 1 pick?
So tough because, the ceiling of taking a quarterback like Sam Howell here is almost too much to pass up.
That's a great.
Hang on a sec. In our 7-round mock, this pick, I was talked off the ledge of Sam Howell. This is exactly where I wanted to take Sam Howell, and we didn't do it. So now you come round and take him when it's not me involved, where I'm the guy that red starred Sam Howell. That's not fair.
We don't know what's going to happen with Stephon Tuitt. I love the idea of just continuing to stuff the run, and I love Travis Jones, and I'm taking him.
Right. It's a good pick. Okay. Green Bay Packers. Now, tempting to take one of the receivers here, but I'm not going to.
The Packers have got, 4 picks in the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, they got loads of picks, yeah.
Packers and the Chiefs, the rich get richer.
Yeah.
I was tempted by Travis Jones. I thought the value there was too good. Do you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to take Logan Hall, my guy. I'm going to take Logan Hall because I think he could play like straight up. I know they play kind of like a 3-4 system, but I think he could be a guy. They've got Duran Reed and Dean Lowry at D end. Now, I was so high on Logan Hall was because I think he can play that sort of 5-tech role perfectly. So I think he's a good fit. I think he can play that 5-tech. He's like not a sort of bendy edge guy. He's more of that kind of push him inside, and then in some package football you can leave him out there, and then he can rush the passer. So yeah, Logan Hall for the Green Bay Packers here.
Nice, I like that pick. I could see it, although I think he goes earlier than that.
Okay, who's up next? Patriots.
Looking at this board, I don't know if it's necessarily a need, but I think he would do well in the Belichick system. He'd find a way of fitting him in somehow. Jaquan Brisker, Penn State.
Does feel like a Patriots guy.
Yeah, I just think that the way that they'd use him, like really kind of outside the box thinking, I think he'd do a job there. Especially in sort of nickel and dime packages and stuff. Probably special teams as well. Unbelievable.
Okay, Cardinals up next. Who's got the Cardinals again?
Cardinals is me. What do we go in the first round with the Cards?
You've gone cornerback.
Andrew Booth in the first round.
Oh, that's a good pick. They sneakier a team that want wide receiver help. They've
drafted so many wide
receivers. I know they have
receivers.
drafted so many,
ridiculous,
but
they have lost a lot. Yeah.
Rondale Moore still, I think, is going to contribute and is going to be good. DeAndre Hopkins is there, but obviously we've seen him kind of take a nosedive, and if he's not going to contribute the way that they expected when they traded. Did they trade for him or did they just pick him up? I can't remember now.
They did that
Yeah, they
awful
traded for him, didn't they? Yeah.
They traded for the awful contract, and then it's them.
Then AJ Green.
It's their fault that what's happening with the wide receivers because of that DeAndre Hopkins. Well, it's the Texans, and then trading for these guys are just massively to blame for it.
They also could do with tackle help. But it's not beautiful, is it? Nicolas Petit-Frere is there, but I'm not a big fan. Kyler causing you problems? Draft white Kyler Murray? No.
What? Who?
Somehow.
Oh, right. It's not.
Just little dude who runs around.
You're really upsetting the apple cart even more by adding a quarterback to the mix.
No.
With it already, you've got an angry, peed off.
Do you know the way I'm leaning? Because I would have gone offensive tackle if there was someone that I felt was worth it there. But I think they're going to go back to the well again and go for Alabama's own John Mechie.
Okay, Mechie, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think it's late enough now.
Yeah, good pick.
Okay, Cowboys up. Who's got the Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Receiver and edge rusher are the options here. Receiver, obviously, Gallup is on the unable to perform list. Traded away Amari Cooper. Signed James Washington from our very own Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's have a look at wide receiver, please, Si, and let's have a look at. Can you bring up edge and wide receiver at the same time?
Oh, look at this! This is like expert use of the system. He doesn't even know if it works that way.
Oh, I do. Let's have a look. Receiver. The way that board is set up, I like the look of edge. Yeah, there's some value still there. I'm going to go edge Josh Pascal out of Kentucky. That will help in the run game.
Okay, Josh Pascal. The Bills are up next. So the Bills, now this is the time. They're going to fill that need. They've got a cornerback need. Kyler Gordon's there. The pick is Kyler Gordon. Speedy, fast cornerback.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
And the Falcons are up.
And the Falcons have taken, remind me of my own team's picks.
You've taken a quarterback who was Malik Willis and a wide receiver
Alec Pierce.
who was Alec Pierce. Wow.
Did I get? Isn't that 3 picks or is it just 2?
Just 2, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's okay. Cool. Can I just say how I've massively improved the Falcons with 2 picks? I've totally turned that franchise around.
That's blatant brag. Okay.
Alpha kind of draft room type, isn't it?
They do really kind of just need a bit of everything as I look around. So it's kind of a luxury because they can kind of just go with best player available. I don't think linebackers really need. Otherwise, I would go something like Troy Anderson. Maybe you want. You know what? Maybe you want to upgrade here from Mike Davis and kind of give yourself another running option outside of Cordarrelle Patterson and go with Kenneth Walker.
Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think I'm assertive enough when I pick.
No.
Because you never seem to know whether I've picked or not.
Back to the Packers podcast.
Yeah, the Packers podcast. Now, there's one pick which is screaming off the board to me here. I think it's a great pick for them. But I'm just going to double check that there's no value on the board that's going to get me sniped from Wisconsin.
I'm intrigued where you're going here because...
there's a definite pick. So they could take a corner, right? They could take Tariq Woolen. Okay, let me see now. Interior defensive line. Let's see what they've got there. They could take Perrion Winfrey. They could take DeMarvin Leal. That could help them. At tackle, Let's see what they got. We could take Abraham Lucas. We could take Petit Frere, although I don't like him. But no, we're going to go with the guy. Fantasy community, get excited because Mr. Trey McBride is going to the Green Bay Packers. Welcome. Pass catching, run blocking, tight end. That's going to surpass Robert Tonyan in a year or two. Trey McBride.
I was just about to take that dude for the Buccaneers.
There you go. That's a good pick then. What are you going to do now?
So I was looking at that. I was going to go with tight end 2. Unsure how long Gronk's going to be there for. Oh, I did been perfect. Can we have a look at tight end, please, Gav? Please, Si, even.
We got Rucker. You got all of them. You got every single tight end. You've got Rucker. You've got Jelani Woods. You've got Dulcich. You've got Likely. Got some later dudes.
So I had Charlie Kohler as my red star and Dulcich as my sleeper. But interestingly, Dulcich is quite high here.
Dulcich is rocketed up board since we did tight end.
Yeah, that was our first. That was like in February we did that, wasn't it? Tight end.
Yeah.
Makes my sleeper pick look pretty good. Happy days. Do I go with Dulcich?
Lazy, either way. You can't win with sleeper picks. Either you pick a guy that's way too low, or you pick a guy that's way too high. You can't win.
Yeah. No, I'm doing it. Charlie Kohler, Iowa State.
Whoa!
Oh.
It's a reach, but that boy has the best hands in that tight end class.
He does.
Reach.
I only get to do 2 rounds of this draft. If I'd have done 3 rounds, I'd have had him next time. But I like that.
Fair enough. It's a Kets draft. Kets is in charge. Right. So 49ers on the clock with their first pick. Tricky one. They're kind of good. They're kind of like their roster's pretty decent. They can go and they're like the Steelers in apart from quarterback. Obviously they've got the quarterback position for days. Yeah, it's a tricky one. They kind of got no massive needs, so I'm going to stall a little bit while I look at various position groups here. Considering, don't particularly like. They probably could do with some guard business, but don't like any of those guys. So let's have a look at cornerback. Tariq Woolen could be a guy for them here. Who have they got cornerback? They've got their starters are Ambry Thomas, who is actually a guy that I was quite high on, and Tre'Davious Ward. Yeah, I'm gonna go corner here. I'm gonna go Tariq Woolen, the physical. Those guys kind of feel kind of Ambry Thomas is kind of small, shifty guy. You could move him inside. Yeah, give me Tariq Woolen here for the 49ers.
Okay. We're into reach season.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't argue with those. Can't argue with those measurables.
The Chiefs again can go anywhere because I've had 3 picks with them. They've filled all the kind of really obvious holes. I kind of am either feeling going, are we out now on Clyde? Not out on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but they've signed Ronald Jones, so they're obviously kind of not fully in. But I don't know if they need to add any more to that. I think Ronald Jones and CEH can probably carry that backfield with Derek Gore sitting on the bench. Okay, I'm going to go. This might seem a bit strange. Greg Dulcich.
Nice.
Fair enough.
You know, they've always dominated having that crazy athletic tight end. If Travis Kelce starts to decline at any point in the next few years, you've got someone behind him. They have nothing behind him right now.
Greg Dulcich, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Just realised, by the way, Broncos at pick 64 wasn't on my list of teams, but it's me on the spreadsheet. Not to worry, I'll make something up.
Sounds like whoever made the spreadsheet made one mistake.
Whoever did that. Who was that? So the Bengals. Bengals are up next. Now, it looks to me like they've got some good edge players. in Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson, but it feels like they could have some depth behind them. So I'm going to give them Cam Thomas, which is a player I really like. And I'm gutted to see them go in division with Cam Thomas, but he's the guy here. Because they've got Trey he's kind of a little bit Trey Hendrickson with more upside in some ways, although Hendrickson's been good. And Hubbard as well. Like they're both kind of he kind of fits that mold for them. So that's actually a really good pick, I've got to say. Right, who's got the Broncos? It's
me.
Oh, it's the last pick. Oh,
yeah, we made it.
Wow, is Sam Howell going to fall out of the?
It seems like it. Yeah, I would have taken it, but none of my teams needed quarterbacks when we got this late.
And the Broncos definitely don't need a quarterback either now. So
don't they? Are we sure about Russ?
Yeah, he's going to be cooking. You know, see, he arrived and instantly the stadium set on fire. What more do you want? Can I have Vontae Mack, please?
Vontae Mack.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that's a real player.
Yeah, who's that?
It's a linebacker.
Is it? Wow, you've really reached there. How do you spell it?
Vontae. Mack.
Mack?
Yep.
That
is... well done.
Sorry, boys.
You fooled Gav.
A bit of a laugh. Go on, Si, explain the joke.
Are you not familiar with the classic 2014 movie Draft Day, Gav?
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Okay. I see. Clever. I see.
I had to get some reference to it in somewhere. Go on then, let's have a look at cornerbacks, being as that's what PFF is telling us that they need.
When did you watch Draft Day, Kets? Most recently?
Last week, I think. Yeah.
Right, okay. And Si, when did you watch it?
Last week.
I'm still on 2021 memories, so that's why.
No, come on, Dave. Vontae Mack, no matter what, is not something you forget.
Yeah, I forgot it.
1 year, Gav.
I forgot it.
No, Kets, what do you think of this? It's craziness. That's been etched into my mind since 2014.
Yeah.
It's full of heart from start to finish. Okay.
So the last pick of the second round will be Cam Taylor-Britt from Nebraska.
All right, and there we are.
How's PFF going to grade this, by the way?
Oh, wow. By billing us $1.99 monthly.
I think we've got our value this week.
We have. Very good. Nice.
Does it give us a grade? No.
No, because I don't think so. Unless...
Are we able to output some kind of graphic that we can tweet out or something?
We can output the first round. I don't know about the second.
Oh, that's a disappointment.
I know. Well.
There it is. It's in the history books.
Yeah, it's in the books.
Congratulations, everyone.
Surely there's a way of... Anyway, we'll talk about this later. But surely there's a way of outputting some kind of graphic with both rounds on it, no? That must be... If not, PFF needs to change that because that's no good.
Tweet at Chris Collinsworth, sort this out.
Yeah.
Immediately.
All right, cool.
Now, here's a website that could really use an additional graphic for the second round.
Amazon Web Service. All right, cool. I enjoyed that. I thought that was fun. Yeah, that's good. All right, should we wrap it up there?
I'd be stressed out if I was a real GM, dude. I think. Although, like I say, I wouldn't have as many teams to manage, so maybe it'd be okay.
It's especially stressful because you'd have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of fans screaming at you no matter what you do. Yeah,
well, it's like in the hit 2014 movie Draft Day. I think it's heavily suggested. You'll know this, Ket.
Yeah.
That if the Seattle Seahawks GM does not do a good job, the fans will break in and murder him. I think that is what the undercurrent is of that movie.
There'll be hangman signs on the fences in Seattle. They're
literally trying to break in when they trade that pick away.
It's a strong undercurrent.
Mm.
All right, anyway, should we stop there and try and work out how to output some kind of 2-round graphic so that this isn't lost just to audio, or do we need a graphics person to make us a graphic?
Well, I don't know who we're going to find on short notice to do that.
True. If you're listening to this, it's too late.
Cool. We'll wrap this up now. We will do another bonus episode. For us, it will be in mere moments, but for you, it will maybe also be in mere moments if you hit play on that after this. Where we'll do the rookie game that we did last year.
It's a little bit like just before Christmas, where you get to look through
Christmas
all of
Eve.
the stuff. Like you get to look through the catalogs, and you've got your advent calendar. It's like that, but with podcasts. So you can fill your day in expectation with draft stuff.
I don't know how well this episode translated to audio. I think it will be better on video. If you've got to the end of here and you've said this was crap, go watch it on YouTube again and give it a new eye.
I don't know, because I didn't look at your draft board. I looked at my own, so I thought it was okay. There was a couple of dead moments where people were like, spinning wheels of circles of death going on. But apart from that, I thought it was okay.
Okay, that's good.
Hopefully, listeners were thinking about who they would take.
Yeah, to fill that gap. Okay. Well, thank you. We'll see you all later. Follow the show at UK Steelers Pod. Follow me at I Wrote This. Follow Gav at GM Boom Up, and follow Kets at Kets UK. And we'll see you in mere moments or maybe after the draft.
See you later.
Shout out David Putney.
Go Steelers.
David goddamn Putney, just because I feel like it.